This video is sponsored by Motosups. Motosups is a premium motocross supplement company that provides you with all the things a motocross athlete would need to level up their riding and training. From hemp coffee to German chocolate protein powder to their superior sleep gummies, they have it all. Head to motosups.co and use code TMN20 for 20% off your first order. Support the brands that support the sport. Hello and welcome back to the Motocross Network. Whether you're an audio or a video viewer now, I don't ever use a camera, but I've got a $3,000 one that I've had laying around, so I figured, hey, why not try and use it for the Moto Daily Show I've been trying to do here. If you didn't know, I've been doing this Moto Daily Show for the whole week now. I'm trying to bring this to the forefront of what I do. I kind of want to bring up every single news story. Like, I kind of avoid a lot of them because they're not going to get views. So why would I post or spend time editing a video to post a video that no one would watch? So I figure if I do a Moto Daily Show, maybe you guys would want all of the top 5 stories of the day, whether it be super important or not. It'll keep you in the loop in the sport. So that's kind of my goal on this. I'm going to include all stories in one video, and if you don't like all of it, you can go watch my regular videos as well. So we're giving this Moto Daily Show thing a shot. Let me know if you like it or not. The audio is going to be a little screwy on here because for some reason this wicked expensive microphone I have works great when I'm interviewing pros at the races, but indoors, it's got an echo and it peaks a lot, so I don't know. You get what you get on this video, guys. It's my first run, so anyway, today, Moto Daily Show. The story lineup will be, there's a new MXGP track rumored to be raced at in 2024. They haven't announced it, but I have some storylines that connect pretty well, and we could find out in this video what that new venue may be. The Ducati bike, it wasn't revealed, but we got to see a little bit of it today. It was their first testing day. Lupino and Cairoli were there, so I'll show you the pictures we got and the information we got on that. Then we're going to look at Jorge Prado. I'm sure you guys know already, but I got to include it because it's a wicked important story. Jorge Prado got confirmed. He will be racing Supercross in America for a few rounds in 2024. And the final story we have is the Stark Varg failed an FIM test for the first time. We'll get into that. Let's begin with this new track. Since June, there has been a rumor that MXGP may be returning to a continent it hasn't been to in over 20 years, and that is Australia. With that being said, the other day I was reading David Luongo, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's the CEO of Infront Moto Racing, the company that runs MXGP. I was reading his editorial, which is typically pretty boring, and I kind of glossed over it and was like, wait a minute, did he really just say that? So I'll read this little section of his editorial. He said, "Dear MXGP friends," continues on to some other plans recently, and then he says, "October was a busy month for our teams at Infront Moto Racing as we are already stepping into the 2024 season with the finalization of the calendar, the site visit of the new track, and some very important event related to the development of our sport." I'm assuming he meant events. That kind of caught me up there. Anyway, so that's what he said. Glossed over it at first, went over my head, and then I had to reread it again. I'm like, wait a minute, did he just say there's going to be a new track next year? So as soon as I realized he said there's going to be a new track, I went to the calendar. Well, what tracks are there so far confirmed? All of them are normal, so it's obviously not confirmed yet. But there are 4 dates that are not confirmed for next year, and that is the second round, March 24th. That's the MXGP of Europe. It says the track is to be announced. That could be a possibility. We got June 16th, to be announced, no info. September 15th, to be announced, no info. And September 29th, MXGP of Italy, which is to be announced. So I'm going to go ahead and probably rule out the MXGP of Europe and the MXGP of Italy. I doubt that those are going to be the venues for the new track, but it's a possibility still. But with the Australia thing being related, I'm assuming it's going to be one of the empty dates, but let me read this article for you here. June 21st, 2023, Alex Gobert, he wrote an article regarding the return to Australia. So this has been a talking point for a while now. He said in his article, an Australian round of MXGP is on the horizon once again, and there have been signals that it could arrive as soon as 2024, with both Motorcycling Australia and FIM Motocross World Championship rights holder, Infront Moto Racing, cooperating in a bid to finally bring the series back down under after more than 2 decades away. So this has been being talked about since midsummer. With that being said, it would fit perfectly into the MXGP schedule. So let's say they do return to Australia. There is one specific round I mentioned that isn't announced yet that would fit in perfect, and that is June 16th, to be announced. That is the weekend, or 2 weekends before the Indonesia rounds. Well, Indonesia is an oddball GP section of the calendar because it's way far away from everything else. There is not a racetrack anywhere near there, except Australia. Okay, let's assume that they do go to Australia. Where may that be? It seems like they already have picked one, and like they typically do, like the typical MXGP style as of late, it's not a motocross track. It's just a racing venue, and they're going to build a track. So that's pretty sad, but it seems that it's going to be at the Bend Motorsports Park. Alex Gobert says here, speculation has been mounting in recent months that the series will make its return or its annual visit to Indonesia. That's earlier this year, and they are inching closer to a landmark agreement that would bring the Grand Prix series back to Australia. The Bend Motorsport Park has constantly been linked to the project. Now, it's not confirmed, but they've been linked. They did speak with the Motorcycling Australia CEO about this, and he said, quote, if a promoter or a venue popped up tomorrow saying they had everything they needed to do it and they're ready to sign a contract, we could have that contract ready and signed in around a month or so. Negotiations are that far down the track. It's all done. We just have to find a promoter or venue and run a race. So that's pretty awesome to see. It sounds like they already got it set up. So the Bend may be the home for the first MXGP of Australia in over 20 years. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Bend Motorsports Park is a giant complex for all motorsports. They do like the Ferrari racing and the, I don't know what that's called, the Ferrari Formula One, they do that. I think they do MotoGP events there. They do drag racing. It's just a big racing park in the middle of nowhere, Australia. So, two outcomes could happen. They could strike a long-term deal. This is all a theory. It's not confirmed. We're linking all these pieces together, trying to figure this out. So let's say the new track he's speaking of, the new venue, is the Bend, and it will happen before Indonesia. There's two options they have. They can either do what they did with Assen, and I don't remember the Italian track. They can just build a track over top the concrete. That's an option. They do it often, so it wouldn't surprise me. Or they could strike a multi-year deal with Motorcycling Australia and have a proper motocross track built there. I'd prefer that, but you never know with them. They also mentioned that they're going to get large government funding. That's mostly why they go places now. I mean, Indonesia, the only reason they go there is because I think they said it pays for almost half of the series. The government funding from them pays for almost half of the year of MXGP cost, just for them racing there a couple weekends. So, of course, if they go back to Australia, that'll be why. But that's kind of all I have on that. It's all a theory. I just came up with this as I linked these articles together. I literally just stumbled across it, and I was like, wow, this kind of all ties together pretty nicely. So, in the end, my theory is that the empty round, June 16th, that's to be announced before the two Indonesia rounds, will be at the Bend Motorsports Park in Australia. As they mentioned, Motorcycling Australia has already talked about. That's my theory. Let me know what you guys think about that. Is it a possibility? Is it going to be a good event or not? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. All right, the second story of the day, Ducati Motocross began their testing today. They hid the bike, of course, and we all got trolled. So Alessandro Lupino, the former MXGP rider, who's working alongside Cairoli with Ducati developing this bike, he trolled us pretty good. This video is coming out late today because I've been waiting. Earlier today, like 9 hours ago, he posted a thing in his story with a timer saying, do you want to see the new bike? And I waited for that countdown to come down, and once it did, we got nothing. So I'll throw the picture up on screen. We did get a picture of him in his Ducati uniform, which, hey, I mean, it's cool to see, whatever, but what we really want to see is behind him, and you can see the front fender and the rear fender behind him, and it's black, so it could be similar to the Triumph. I don't know. I'm just joking. But that's all we got from him. He trolled us on that. And on top of that, he posted a second picture I'll throw up. It's an AI-generated fake Ducati photo, so he got me pretty good. I waited all day for this, and yeah, didn't get nothing. But he did say, quote, "Proud to be part of this amazing project. Thank you, Ducati in course." So that's day one wrapped up for him. Cairoli hasn't said anything yet, but there was a picture leaked of him earlier today, before pictures were even supposed to come out, with him in his store gear that says Ducati and all that all over it with the Ducati staff. So that was cool to see. I'll throw that up as well. But other than that, not much to talk about with this, except I got trolled pretty good, and I'm just hyped to see another bike entering the sport. Can't wait to hear some more information about it. That's all I got on this one. But let me know what you guys think about this bike. Do you think it's going to be another kind of copycat scenario, or is it going to be a very original model? Let me know your thoughts on Lapino and Cairoli, day one of testing out there in Italy. Well, it actually happened. Jorge Prado is in for 2024 Supercross. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think that was gonna happen at all this year. It's kind of insane to me. Anyway, Jorge Prado is in for Supercross. The first 3 rounds, I believe it's Anaheim 1, San Diego, and San Francisco, I think. Let me look at the article here. I lost it. All right. Yeah, I got it right. All right. So, yeah, he's only been here, I think he was here a month, maybe? A few weeks. He tested with the Troy Designs Red Bull Gas team here and the development team for KTM Husqvarna, the umbrella company. He tested with them for a little while, and from people I know who were there personally, they said he was flying. He was going really fast, running similar speeds to some other top-notch guys, so that's kind of insane to me. People were also giving him crap for doing the whoops backwards. I think there was a clip of that. He was doing the whoops backwards, but I don't blame him. I think he's only done Supercross once back in 2015 as an attempt. So I know for sure I wouldn't be jumping on the full-size whoops the first time on the track. So I don't blame him on that one. Anyway, he did strike a deal, or an agreement rather, between Troy Designs Red Bull Gas and the regular Red Bull Gas MXGP team. The press release reads, quote, "Together between Jorge, his regular Red Bull Gas Factory Racing team, and the Troy Designs Red Bull Gas Factory Racing team, it was decided that he will go on to contest the opening 3 rounds of the 2024 AMA Supercross Championship in a bid to gain experience via a series of gate drops and race mileage in the U.S. during what will still be the Grand Prix off-season." Jorge went on to say, quote, "Since I started riding, my dream has always been to one day race in the U.S., specifically to race Supercross. I've watched it my whole life on television and always thought it must be great to race under the lights, with a huge crowd and atmosphere. And more specifically, it must be great to race at an iconic stadium like Angel Stadium. I was lucky enough in 2015 while visiting and training in the U.S. to go to Anaheim 1. It was a great experience and made me want to try it even more. So given I won the MXGP title this year and totally healthy, looking for a new challenge, I thought it was a perfect time in my career to come and train in the USA properly to prepare for a few Supercross races. I don't want to waste another whole year wondering if I could or should, so I'm here and I'm going to try it out. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm lucky enough to have the full support of my Red Bull Gas Factory Racing team back home with Claudio and David DiCarli, and the Troy Designs Red Bull Gas Factory Racing team here in the USA behind me." Roger DeCoster also commented on this. I'm not going to read his whole quote either because I'm kind of out of breath out of reading that whole one. But he pretty much said his whole goal was to get him as comfortable as possible on Supercross, see if it's a possibility for him to race. I think Roger's going to try to do as he did with Kenny and, for a lack of better terms, groom him for Supercross, see if he's good, and if so, pull him over here. Say, hey, you're done in MXGP. We got a full ride for you here. David DiCarli, the team manager for Red Bull Gas, kind of said the same thing, but in a different way. He was basically saying that, hey, he has a dream. We want to fulfill that, help him fulfill that, so they're proud of him. to come over here and test it out. They also said that they can't wait to watch him, see how he is on it, and hopefully it gives him just a step ahead of the crowd in MXGP. He's already got some real gate drops under his belt if he does that, so maybe that'll give him a better shot at coming out on top immediately in MXGP. I mean, he did last year without that, so maybe he'll dominate again this year. Anyway, after that 3-round appearance, he's going to head back to Europe, train for a few weeks, then head to round 1 MXGP of Patagonia, Argentina, which will happen on March 10th, 2024. So, I don't really know how I feel about this because I love Jorge Prado. He's one of my favorite riders, but in MXGP. I like when guys come over here, but right now isn't his time, I don't think. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I think he'll do good, but we got Roczen. We got Jet Lawrence, Hunter Lawrence, Eli Tomac's coming back. Cooper Webb's on the new bike. Chase Sexton's on the new bike. Like, Barsha, he's always good in Supercross. Anderson might do better on the new bike. Like, it is slam-packed in the 450 class in Supercross. I feel like, I don't want to say it, but I feel like Prado may catch himself riding over his head, which could be dangerous. I would hate to see him hurt himself before defending his world championship. He is one of the most consistent riders in MXGP. I hate to see him come over here, want to prove himself, and ride over his head and ruin his entire year. So that's my worry about this, but that's worst case scenario. Best case scenario would be he comes here, runs in the top 10, maybe battles top 5 guys. That's, I doubt, but maybe he gets up there and then determines his future if he wants to come back here and do pro motocross and supercross. So that's best case scenario for him, but I personally would want him to stay in MXGP and focus on that because he's the king of MXGP right now. He was kind of untouched this year. Fevra kind of gave him a little bit of a fight at the end of the year, but the rest, the inconsistency, you can't battle with a guy so consistent like Jorge Prado. He's just too consistent, so I just hope it's the better side of that scenario I just gave you. So that's all I got on that. All right, for the final story of the day, Stark Varg. The bike failed their FIM test at the debut of the Superenduro season this year. About a month or two ago, I believe it was, they signed Taddy Bazusiak. Now, I'm not going to pretend I know this guy. I don't pay attention to Enduro at all. So you guys might know more about him. I don't know anything about him. Anyway, they signed him, went out on a limb. He took the offer. He's a 6-time Superenduro champ, and he was pumped. He was really excited about this. I watched his Instagram reels and stuff. He was super pumped to try out the electric bike on the tracks.
So, for me as a rider, I've done it all, and seeing this new technology and to be on board from day one, I had to go and I had to jump on it. So today marks the official day 1 of me racing for Stark Future. It's a new chapter for me, the new beginning. We're here to race everything I can around the world. We're basically racing a stock motocross bike with few tweaks here and there to make it more enduro. And it's already super competitive and fun to ride, so can't wait to get going.
Stark, their engineers and developers and their CEO and Taddy, they all worked together with the FIM since August, I believe they said, to make sure this bike was compliant and compatible with the FIM rulebook. Unfortunately, just 24 hours before the race took place, the FIM said, nope, it's not compliant, you can't race. That's just a really crappy situation. They didn't explain why. They didn't explain what rules they broke. They just said it wasn't compliant after working with them for months to make sure it was. So, interesting for sure. Here's what the CEO of Stark had to say about it.
I'm a little bit disappointed about the weekend at the Superenduro FIM World Championship. I mean, we went out there, we've been working really hard. We went through all the rulings, to all the modifications we had to do on the Stark Varg, making sure everything is ready. We've been working on the lanyard, some electric components to comply with the FIM regulations. The last 24 hours, just before the race, we got denied that we were not able to enter the event. So, I mean, we've been working with the FIM since August to make it happen, and that was a big disappointment on our side. And I was looking, forward to enter Taddy into that event, not only about racing, but also about the future of our sport. I mean, Star Future want to compete to the highest level. But we keep, working closely with FIM to make it to the next round, and then comply with all the FIM rules needed. That's our goal, and Stark Future is always 100% beyond racing, so we keep pushing.
So not only was the CEO disappointed, but Taddy was pretty irritated as well. I mean, imagine training on a bike, making sure it's FIM compliant, and then them just cutting under your legs, just saying, nope, done, sorry, can't race it. So that was a bad deal for him as well. Obviously, he's a 6-time champ. He's coming in for the fight. I mean, he wants to win this championship, and right off the bat, it was, taken from him. So here's his side of the story as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's the situation is definitely disappointing. Let's put it this way. From my side, as a professional rider, we went through all the points that we were supposed to go to make sure that everything was on point. It was done the way it should have been done, and we've done all the research and we've done everything. We ticked off all the boxes, knowing that we are allowed to race. And we couldn't really see this one coming 22 hours before the race. So I'm here ready to race. I'm not allowed to race, and the guys back at the factory, the guys at the team are going to be doing everything they can. And I'm back on the track on Monday and start to get ready for Krakow for Poland.
I tried to look into this. I have no idea. I don't even know where to watch this, so I couldn't find the live broadcast if they explained it. But I don't know what led to this last-minute disqualification or non-compliance, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what led to it. I don't know if the FIM had a last-minute thought of maybe this wouldn't work or what, but they've been working together for months. So how is it not compliant? How do you say, okay, this is the flat out, this is what we need, we got to work to this, and they're doing it, and then rate last minute? No. So I have no idea what happened on that one, but now listen, I'm not a genius. I don't know anything about the electric bikes or the rule books for the FIM, but I'm going to suggest a solution to this whole scenario. Call me crazy. This is a common sense solution. I don't know if it's crazy or not. You guys let me know in the comments what you think, but here's my thought on this. Okay. Electric, gas, very different. Electric has incredible start speed. Gas has better top end speed. So, top end? I don't know, I'm not a mechanic. You know what I mean. You can continue gaining speed on a gas bike. On an electric bike, I have one. I know this. Once it hits top speed, it's done. You can't go any faster. But the start, you twist that throttle, you crack that throttle, you're gone. So that's the benefit of the electric and having constant momentum. You can build the momentum on a gas bike, build your speed. I say that's the benefits of each. But anyway, here's my solution. Average out the manufacturers of the gas bikes, their horsepower. Average that out. And that's what the electric bike has to be. That's the electric bike's horsepower. They already said they can go in there and just go on the computer, retype the code, flip a switch, whatever you got to do, and you can put a certain max horsepower on it. So my solution is to, in each individual class, put the horsepower. That's what the electric bike has to be set at. I think that's completely fair. I mean, there's going to be spots where the electric bike's going to benefit, and there's going to be spots where the gas bikes benefit. I mean, maybe the electric bike dies on track. I don't know. So I think that's the best common sense solution. Call me crazy, but let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Maybe I'm not thinking of some other variables in this, but that just seems like a basic solution to me. Let me know your guys' thoughts on that. All right, I figured I'd end this video with a story that's not really a story. You all know Dylan Ferrandis confirmed with Phoenix Honda. He's been testing, getting better and better every day. He just posted a fresh video of him testing, so I figured, hey, why not show you guys in case you didn't see? Here's Dylan Ferrandis today testing with his new bike, his new team. Let me know what you think about how he's doing. All right, that's all I have for you today, guys, in the Moto Daily Show. Whether you're watching this on YouTube or listening in audio, let me know what you think of this. It's a new idea. I've been trying to work on this concept in my head. There's just a lot of stories in motocross that not many people would click on of just a single video about it. So my philosophy is kind of like, or my way of thinking is, if I put all the stories of the day in one video, so every single day you get your little hit of motocross news, whether it be a small privateer getting a ride, or Jorge Prado, biggest champion in the world right now, stepping into Supercross, like the smallest stories and the largest stories all in one video. I kind of want to do that because I'm a super fan of this sport. So I want to provide you guys with all the news possible. If you enjoy this content, let me know. Also, let me know how the audio is doing because I have no idea yet. So hopefully I can fix it in the future. I know it's probably going to be screwed up because that mic was giving me troubles all day. I just said screw it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next Moto Daily Show. Thanks for listening and or watching. Go support Moto Sups. They are the sponsor for my channel, my website, my podcast side, all that stuff for all of 2024. So please go give them some love, and that helps me out greatly. So thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one.